Hello, and welcome to Tower Tactics Liberation, a rogue-like tower defense game that has tons of different classes and ways to approach the game. I have never successfully finished the game with a random deck, and I'm not sure that I will. But hey, better to try than to not, right? Early on, losing some crystals from max health seems alright. So we've got the weaponized faith relic. So martyr cards with martyr cost 2 less by default and gain 2 luck, meaning that if I have cards that get cheaper when I take damage, they get cheaper faster. However, I'm not seeing any martyr cards in this deck. But we're gonna see what we do. Let's remove. I'm gonna pull out Downshaper. It's a very expensive card that doesn't do a lot for me until, like, I don't find it does a lot on its own. One of the main things about this game is trying to take routes that get you to a lot of fights. Seeing as I know this, if hovering here tells me that I can go to here, there'd be no point in picking the top fight instead of this one. So we're going to start with this nice little one here. We will be playing at a higher game speed because it is a tower defense game. I don't want you guys to sit and watch every little thing, and frankly, I don't usually need the whole amount. We're going to start with a Infernal Beam right up front. And yeah, he's going to target the first enemy. Nothing really else we can do. We can force it to draw cards. That doesn't help us here. I'd rather save the energy to build up. The more energy you have banked in this game, the more energy you will make. It's kind of an interesting little... an interesting reason to bank your energy. Trick Room here will apply different status effects, hopefully making our Infernal Beam have more and more time to deal with problems as they come along. I'm going to grab a Sniper because I don't really have too many ways to deal with cloaked targets, and I don't know when they'll show up. As well, I'm going to make sure to prevent them from being deactivated. Oh, and there's... Sorry, I do usually have the music pretty low, because I do like to listen to my own stuff a lot of the time, but it is kind of nice here. So this would benefit other martyr cards. Holy Sword, as my health gets lower, it does more damage. But because I don't have any martyr and I don't really have any way to control my health, I'm actually going to skip these. Nothing here seems to call to me. And let's go to this elite so I can get something a little bit better. A piercing bolt I tend to want to have on an angle where it's going to fire into a group pretty effectively. But there isn't really a great way to get a lineup on this map from my experimenting. So we're going to go here, and hopefully he plinks more of this downward area than anywhere else. But for single target, I don't think it should matter. We're going to get the extractor up, hopefully get our energy going sooner rather than later. We might take this hit, but it doesn't matter too much. We regenerate 2 health per turn, so this enemy doesn't do anything. Sorry, 2 health per game 1. So this enemy doesn't really do anything to us. He's kind of an acceptable loss. And then I will pair him with a sniper rifle towards the middle of the map. Actually, here should be good. And 2-star enemy, so the decimate doesn't matter. And since the MP wall is free, I'll make sure to put it down here with them. I'll let this pass just so we can get some progress on gathering more energy to hopefully play better stuff. And now that we're over the threshold of 3 mana, I believe it's 3 mana. Sorry, each over 4. So each set of 4 mana you have, you gain a bonus mana with 1 overcharge. So it really only matters as long as I have more than 4 energy at the start of the turn, which means I can comfortably place my Trick Room here. Excuse me. since I've got no since I'm not really using these, I'm probably gonna work on purging these where I can. Since that's the case, I'm not really gonna worry about having the game speed too slow. The snipers will take out cloaked guys, and the sniper is prevented from being stunned anyways. I'll EMP wall here to keep him active all the time, and now we're going to upgrade our sniper to tier 2. Whenever you place 3 of a tower in this game, it actually has a chance, it upgrades to its next kind of fold, and then placing 9 total brings it to its final tier. And actually, I believe removes the card from your deck. These generate mana at the end of your turn. They get more expensive the more I have, but I would say it's worth it right now. To keep me topped up and keep my economy going. Grab a second railgun, and we're just gonna pass here. Pretty sure everyone there's at least tier 2. Yeah, the Call the Weak ability really stops being useful early on. I'm literally in the second fight, and I know it's an elite fight, but it just doesn't do the trick for me. And that should cover all of them. Bring that to there. If I put that there, bring him up here, because where he is doesn't matter. So I'm going to consolidate to get everybody nicely within that little bubble there, and grab our third trick room, which should be easily all we need to finish this elite fight off. Death Scythe crits do more damage instead of the amount they did base. Grab some crystals. There's nothing... If I'm going to take an extra tower on this deck, on this very full 11 card deck, it's got to be something that really jumps out at me as exceptionally worthwhile. So the rest site would only let me go forward, where the event will let me pop around to different stuff. I'm going to gain the awareness amulet, so now it's not just the snipers that see stealth enemies, it's everyone. We're going to come down, get this enemy, this event. Actually, it might be this enemy, this enemy, this event. Yeah. Put him there for a good amount of coverage. EMP wall to keep him going. We'll get the extractor here. Put a sniper down, but now we're going to start saving again. Now that I got the sniper to click things that the beam can't deal with. And we'll give them an EMP wall as well, while we're saving up. It says shift click to change his priority. It's not working. Oh, there we go. High stealth, and that's what I want. There we go. We're going to double down and grab a second sniper because we're intending to upgrade that sniper as soon as possible. Ooh, but I don't want them firing on the same target the whole time. Let's priority cloaked enemies. First enemy, last enemy, highest health, lowest health. You're gonna focus on the closest enemy, and you're gonna focus on the first enemy. That way, as things come around, things that are near here, so the guy in the back will be targeted by him, whereas the guy in the front, we targeted him so they can pinch off the enemy all in one go, hopefully. Yes, they'll fight the same guy at the very front early on, but they'll consolidate from either side of the sandwich, you know? Sentries are neat because they're free, but you kind of got to be able to constantly reliably place them if you want them to scale up and get good. So on a deck that's full, it's hard to quantify taking it. And I'm not casting a lot of spells. Avid Reader would probably be good because once I cast that, it's out of my deck. Would be a bad idea to do that right away. These not saving settings between missions is kind of irritating, so I might not fiddle with them on anything other than elite combats. Hopefully you guys can't hear that car outside. that Avid Reader out of the way, so now it's out of our deck, and now we have more draw. More draw, more options, more solutions. I'm going to save this wave. I do believe that the sniper and the beam have this, but I might be mistaken. Hey, there we go. Due to the nice long straightaway at the bottom here, I will take this one, have him here, and I'm actually going to tell him to fight the last enemy. Those priorities are new since I last played this, I believe. Grab our energy. Oh, that literally did not matter this round. That irrelevant. Scrap Recycler lets me use my crystals data tower instead of just the energy, which gives me another option for just getting more bullets out. And because I've got a good amount of income at this, like a good amount of, decent amount of crystals, not huge, and I've got shops incoming, I am going to grab it. Alright, not really an option. Not really a choice there. Grab it in the name of having just more reliable options, because it's cheap. It's one. And having it can be a pretty significant boon. Ward those guys up. There, I used Decimate the Weak to good effect. And because of my awareness amulet, that character who would have normally been stealth managed to be pretty swiftly dealt with. Even though it's not on, so the lighter yellow tiles give a little bit of boost to your range and I believe your fire rate. I'm going to set the Trick Room here so that he's helping out the sniper more often. And then, given this the last wave, I'm not going to spend a crystal to upgrade that. I will, however, grab a second sniper. Because if things go south, I'll plop this up here as an upgraded turret to drop in the back line of the enemy. Grabbing a second railgun to potentially focus on upgrading that railgun as I go, instead of just having the basic one might be useful. Grab the focusing beam and the well, it's my only thing. I should probably go for first anyway, but it's not there anymore, so I will have the sniper push a little forward so he can deal with stuff before it gets to this guy. However, I'm going to have him deal with the lowest health, so that hopefully high health things get saved for the beam as things go on. We're going to throw a Trick Room here to debuff and penalize enemies. Trick Room does a variety of random effects. I'm going to save for our economy. This is only a regular combat, it's not a huge deal. I'm pretty sure between these things we do actually have the win already. But extra sniper rifle. And final wave. Grab an extra beam. Crystals. Again, I'm trying not to worry too much about casting on this because I've got I've got a lot of things, so trying to just cram more things to stumble onto is never going to be useful. Not never going to be useful, but summon a random tower every time I reach my first level 3 tower, and I'm actually going to remove the first thing I'm going to pull is Electric Beam because it is the spell that has a cost. And that'll be all. And because I have no further money, I don't intend to jump to that shop just yet. But we are going to hit this enemy and then take a peek at the shop, see what's there. Again, foregoing that bonus to my range in exchange for a little bit more of a angle for attack, so I can try to hit more enemies with the full hit. Where the sniper, I'm front loading and letting him just plink, because he should finish things before they get to the crossbow. He should finish things before they get to the railgun quite often. But the railgun can help clean up just like that. And that is where the railgun excels. I'm very thrilled to have it for those purposes. I'm going to let that economy up because I forgot to save now. But we're on our final wave anyways. We're all good. A little bit of extra crystals. Nothing here worth it because, again, that really crammed inventory makes it hard. We've got enough to remove another tower here, another turret, another item. And I think we're going to pull the Isuna out. It's just not a spell I find myself using, and clearing out those chaff spells will help me in the long term. This is the boss fight, not just an elite. It should be a little more difficult than what we've been facing until now. But smart use of our turrets. We got pretty lucky with a wide variety of useful turrets that are useful in different situations. Meaning that we've got a lot of coverage of different needs within the build. I'm going to drop that now so it's out of the way. We've got good AoE with our railgun. We've got great single target with the Infernal Beam. I'm going to swap him to highest health, and I'm going to again swap him to last enemy. Followed by second railgun. And again, the EMP wall is free, so getting it down is good because potentially getting that tier 3 EMP wall would mean that I could get that free tower, potentially. Now, I probably should have just left that for my economy, but the extra damage is good after losing one. There's our EMP wall upgrade. I'm also going to get the trick room down. Again, the economy is suffering, but our resource economy is not the greatest. Making sure our health economy stays good is more important. I'm going to grab this extra turret for the crystal. Slap down the next EMP generator, and no, we're gonna save for that economy. Yeah. We're still pretty shallow on our funds, so I'm actually gonna save again because we've just hit that 4 mark, so now we're earning more per round. Drop the extractor, bring us down to the 4 again, sadly, but with the scrap recycler only costing 1 of our crystals, that gives us a little bit of extra firepower here. All the way up at 8 feels pretty good now, though, and I'm gonna plunk those down for a big burst. I just burnt our economy, but now we've got a lot of firepower front and center to thin out the hordes and let our focus beam focus on someone. Not to mention these trick rooms mean that we're going to be turning enemies around a little more often than I'll upgrade our second railgun to tier 2, and we'll get our second tier 2 EMP wall. They're overlapping. They're not. The second one isn't functionally doing anything for us here yet, but I find that I would rather make the progress on it. Get that sniper down. And I guess throwing one more railgun here is kind of our best choice. Last wave. I can leave the sniper here to pick up the stragglers and clean anything off. I don't really have anything covering that angle of the map, and it doesn't look like it's that big of a deal. Makes a critical hit gain crystals. I'm going to pick that up because I have things that feed off of crystals. So this will reduce our max hand size, but increase the amount we draw. I'm not hitting 10 in any way, so bringing us up by 1 seems like a good way to buff our current choices. We're gonna hit the event first, and I'm too broke to do anything. Go up to the enemy so we can hit the elite. Ooh. Now, there's not a lot of great firing lines for my railgun here. So I'm going to choose to use the Infernal Beam first over the railgun. Because he's got pretty good avenue of egress here for when you're entering and entering. We'll throw the thief here, and then I'm actually going to flip him to defend this side, so the thief has more time to plink at enemies. Followed by a trick room here to keep them in his range for longer. Just hoping that my thief gets that crit so I can farm a little bit of crystals. Not hugely gonna be depending on that, but it'll just be nice to get what I can where I can. I feel like I'm doing okay. Getting the extra energy via that is probably more beneficial than trying to wait for the overload. Get a second thief, but then we'll just pass. Lose 2, but we are, I will heal that back. And we got one foe here, so hopefully my upgraded beam will take care of it. Nicely done. Got an extra railgun, could try to triple stack that. I'm gonna grab the Iron Maiden. It's an interesting card I've not made work before, but I always like trying new stuff in these games. So we're gonna grab the Infernal up here, so they've got that big circle on them. I'm gonna let him just have 2 rounds to himself, because I think he can probably handle getting my economy up. Throw down the Iron Maiden and re-up the next round. The Iron Maiden reminds me of another ability in this game named the Inevitable End, which is a slow ticking, just raw damage, where this one has some penalties to the enemy as well. Get the second Iron Maiden down, followed by Avid Reader, so we have a bit more draw. Should have a full hand of 6 there, I think. Yeah, get another Thief up front. The Iron Maiden's ticking away and just doing that like chip damage to the... I don't know what I think I can do at him. 54? Yeah, no, he's made it through. I'm going to take my first hit of real damage here. I'm going to keep that 1 on me. We'll up the Iron Maiden to tier 2, and we will throw down a sniper rifle to hopefully do chunk damage to those guys. I know that this thing will benefit from, like, kind of fighting on its own, almost. It loses some fire rate putting it back here. I'm also going to give it a second friend, so hopefully that anything that gets there will be either softened up or dead. Or super tanky and require those things, which are their specialty, is dealing with tanky stuff. Give them a EMP aura. And this game kind of melds a lot of different things that I enjoy about games. I like strategy, I like puzzles, and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't is really quite interesting. I've not had too much trouble with this game. It's not overall too hard. I'm still on. This is the basic difficulty. You need to finish a difficulty with a class to be able to ascend it and go into the higher difficulties. And like I said, I haven't beaten the random before. It's a little more interesting to try to do something that I've not done before, you know? We got a snowman. Start the combat with extra spell mana, gain 1 luck. Nice. Ooh, that's kind of a big jump across the galaxy. That's unfortunate. We're gonna go ahead and spend on our scrapper here. Get him shooting in the middle here, because nothing here is really all that great for us. But the Iron Maiden plus those two should... should keep us defended. It is wave 1. The resetting to wave 1 all the time in this tower defense game gives me a weird feeling. A lot of the time what I like about a tower defense game is I'm sitting on a map optimizing and getting to the perfect use of that specific map. That's not really a thing in this game, because you're between places quite often. You're very rarely going to have much time in the same place. The boss waves being the real exception at 15, but even then, it's not something that's going to... It's not something where you're going to be able to have time to refine. You're fighting until you've cleared the crowd, and you move on to the next one, and you start again. And you're starting from scratch, which, in a lot of tower defense games, you start from scratch after you lose. So, I've got a weird feeling in my head, because although I am doing... The more well I'm doing, the more frequently I'm resetting a lot of the time. And therefore, the better I'm doing, the worse it feels like I'm doing compared to other tower defense games. But this is its own thing. It does kind of sit in its own genre, being both a tower defense game and a roguelite with a meta progression system where by playing and doing well, I'm earning a currency that makes my future runs better and faster, and dipping into that is also really fun. Because compared to where I started... I feel like I've made some amazing progress. I'm immensely more powerful. I'm happy to lose some health and the chance to get a relic, but failed. I've got 2 events this side. Great. Some of these events, I think, could use some love. When the only thing about the event is that it's bad for me as a player, it doesn't... It makes me want to rethink how I think about my routing for this game, but not in a, oh, I should be cautious and avoid this. It's just, oh, just don't do this mechanic. It's just a random chance to fail. Because if I had low enough health there and I went into that and my only option was to lose 2 health, I do just lose. Which, sure, it's a roguelike. These games are meant to be punishing. These games are meant to make you make those risky decisions. It's also meant to... Some of the risky decisions are meant to feel good. That just feels like I'm being punished for playing the game, which is a different kind of feeling than what I assume roguelikes are going for. Because the trick rooms are there for the debuffs, the Reaper is going to hopefully benefit off of their slower effects and be able to bully the enemies that come through. For now, I'm going to spend 1 energy on Thief only right now, just in the hopes that I can farm some more money off of it. Okay, Trick Room I can upgrade, and Scrap Recycler, I'll spend 1 to upgrade you to tier 2, yeah. Back up to half health after that's done, but the Vortex and the Reaper, that seems like a natural synergy to me. We're gonna hit the rest site, and I'm gonna heal because of that event. We're gonna come here. Mystical Feather, so that at the start of combat, everything's a fair bit cheaper. This will allow me to do one of 2 things. One, I could invest hard. 1, Reaper's free, I can play it wherever now. But I could also choose to only play one of these things and keep my economy up. Or I can choose to overinvest and kind of be heavily established in the map. I'm going to choose economy because it's a boss wave, but I'm going to be sparing with what I'm going to be sparing with how much I save, which I know is a weird sentence, because I want to make sure that I am getting set up before things ramp too hard. Essentially, I'm going to probably spend down to 7 most of the time. Sorry, not spend down to 7, spend down to 4 most of the time. Yeah, we'll plonk the extractor down, but we'll end it here so we can get back above that 4-point wave. And now with this vortex here, that Reaper is going to do real good. I still haven't once gotten a tier 3 tower on this build, which is interesting. I'm usually stacking tier 3 towers when I play this, so it's interesting to see it come out differently, doing something unique. Trick room at the end, and then I'm going to throw a railgun here. Because they are kind of clumping. The enemies are... yeah, I got one through. I could have reacted faster there and dealt with that. But in retrospect, I'll drop a sniper in the back line to help thin out what gets through. And then I'm going to put these thieves at the very front so they're just plinking for money. That's what they're here for. That's what I want them for. I do appreciate that the enemy, the towers, kind of like the automatic towers, like the vortex, stop between rounds. I know a lot of games would just leave them passively firing, but I appreciate it going quiet and giving me a moment of just observation of what's going on. Hopefully we get a few more stuns. Nice. We'll throw a trick room down, followed by that second railgun up here. I'm going to also cover the scrap. And, you know what, let's upgrade our railgun to tier 2. Put that there. I'm also going to put this a little more central, because I know it does cover the whole map, and then he's going to come down here and have him fire at last enemy. We're going to drop this here and cover far more of our stuff with that defense. I'm debating on whether this was a good idea here. But I'm just going to leave it for now. Getting our third trick room. I'm not going to worry about placing a scrap recycler. We're broken. Well, it's only 6. It's only 1 out of our 6. But we're at the tail end of the boss, so it's not super important. I will, however, get down a couple more railguns, because I'm hoping to get that tier 3 one at least once. Get that tier 2 Reaper. Get that second tier 2 ballista up at the top there. Or railgun, not ballista. Similar model to the ballista in this game. They use a similar drawing. I'll give this to my tier 2 thief up at the front. So the trick room is kind of causing everybody to overlap and become more and more densely stacked, which is really benefiting my railguns. I'm going to get an extra trick room. We are in our last wave, so I'm just going to burn everything I got. There's no point in saving at this point. Extra gold. Guardian Angel, so that's something that benefits off of that Martyr. Oh, and it heals me. I'm actually going to grab that because it does give me a way to heal, as well as benefiting from me taking damage. And elites are going to give me 2 instead of 2 items instead of 1 on this, so I want to make sure I hit all 3 of them here where I can. Bottom will let me go to top, so that's nice. Round 1 free stuff. I'll 4C because it's for C. If it's free, that's one. Placing this guy first turn for 1, that's real nice. But I'm going to bring these two here and let that play. Oh, yikes. No, Sniper wasn't in time. But we still got that passive healing of 2, so hopefully I make it through this okay. And then we'll throw the Iron Maiden down. It is just a little 8 waver, so it shouldn't be too bad. We're going to do that same kind of railgun logic in the past, as from the past. Last enemy. In case clumps show up, but it also kind of stuns a little bit to hopefully give my sniper time to finish off targets, like that guy. Just with the nature of having the occasional big enemy come through, I'm going to put down the beam here instead of saving and give them an EMP wall. Just because some things have been kind of sturdy as they come through, and he's really good at dealing with them. I'm not going to worry about a second Thief just now. I will actually Iron Maiden a second time. Help prevent any regeneration and such. And then our last choice will be our Trick Room here. I say last. I don't mean last at all. But we're not going to be doing much this round, I guess is what I meant. Second EMP. And actually I'll throw down a second Infernal Beam. This seems to be a wave of a lot of big individuals instead of groups. So having something punchy seems advantageous. Get our tier 2 Iron Maiden for our final wave. Nothing hugely upgraded, but having that extra slow from the Trick Room is really nice. Laser Rifle's a really good guard. I like it quite a lot. Yeah. It allows for a lot of... like, freedom in how you're building and placing your units, because it is very versatile. It doesn't do anything specific, it's just generally useful, because it ignores defenses and just is a good gun. I'm thinking about it, I think highest health might not actually be the best choice, because as he hurts things, he might try to hop around more. I'm gonna put him back on first enemy, I think. Closest enemy. No, because he keeps stuttering. Closest enemy's not the one. I think I'm going to want to go with first enemy for him. Just so that he's constantly firing on something. Get a Thief here for a little bit of crystal income. Not super sure how great that's been, because I don't know how good my crit chance is. I don't think it shows me up there. Sniper down for dealing with targets. Because the sniper's AoE is so big, I want to push it area of effect, it's where it can affect, is so big. I want to put it back so it covers as much of the track as possible. Even though I know that up here was just fine, I'm going to get an extra 4 or 5 tiles this way by bringing it over here. Yeah. Bump this back, get another Infernal Beam. I know we had the opportunity to upgrade our railguns, but I'm trying not to just yet. Again, we're getting a lot of those single target small clumps, and I'm not sure the best way to deal with those other than just upgrading my Infernal Beam first. But with my economy in shambles, it might be best to just Invest. There we go. There's that clump and the reason that I want the railguns, but I've got two of them, so they're sandwiching the pack and getting to bump them quite firmly. I'll go for that second vortex and get a Reaper online on this corner. This corner. This corner. The railguns are really the only thing that benefit from being on these outer edges because they get so little focus, but it gives them time to clump up and fire on the whole group instead of just one individual getting the full bulk. And there's our Infernal Beam tier 2. I like the visual of that upgrade, it's quite nice. And the weapon itself is fantastic. Hopefully the vortex slows paired with the railgun shots will let us get a lot of really effective kills in here. Let's go for that next thermal beam, infernal beam. Ooh, good shot from the sniper there. We'll get the tier 2 vortex as well as grabbing a second trick room. I'm gonna put them in the very corners here actually, so they get a little bit more leeway with what they're trying to do. In general, I want to keep the enemies as close to my infernal guy as possible, so that the ones who need to get picked can. Oh no. Anyway. So I'll be down 1 extra hit point at the end of this fight. I could save and try to play the Martyr Tower, the one that heals me a little bit. I'm gonna read what this guy does. Well, it's live disables a random tower. Receives triple damage from spells. What tower are you disabling? Oh, one of the ones probably that were within my EMP aura. So, or EMP wall. That didn't seem like he was too big of a deal. And with just 3 points left, we're not going to be able to get the heal. I want to get the chunk of the Iron Maiden just to prevent any regen. As things clump up. Yeah. Having the Infernal Beams all focus fire on the same target is also really satisfying because you kind of watch his health just plummet. Reactivating towers cost 1 less mana. I haven't really had to do that much because I'm good with the EMP walls. Extra spell mana. I'm not using too many spells. Not the most useful thing, but it's okay. And I'm not interested in any of that. From this elite, I can go to the reward, but from the reward, I cannot go to the elite. Free trick room, 1 cost Iron Maiden, Avid Reader. Not the strongest start for an elite. Definitely gonna eat that hit. Maybe I can stun him a little bit. We're at about half. Hey, let's see what we do. Hey! Through well use of a spell, I suppose, I got that done. Man, just doesn't want to give me my my single target guys here. Let's go with that and a Reaper on the across, so that slow targets are well within his range for a lot of the time. Yeah, there we go. So the Iron Maidens don't need line of sight. It doesn't need to be there. I just put it there. We'll make sure to swap him to last enemy so he fires to the back of the crowd and hits as many people as possible. We're going to pass away for economy. Then I'm going to put our trick room here and bring our infernal beam up into that first nice slow spot. I can just pass. I could place the extractor, but I think actually no. Yeah, good idea. because he'll reset us back to our econ of 4. I'll put down my EMP wall here, but then I'm going to pass this wave because I think I've got the stuff I should need to deal with this. Not with flying colors, but we got it in the end. Isn't that what matters? Move the vortex up to here. Get a second infernal beam. Place a second vortex. Actually, I'll mirror the vortex here so we're kind of in a pincer between the two of them. Save that 4. And then watches the railgun. Deletes the crowd. I enjoy the railgun. And we'll upgrade it to a tier 2. Because we got this whole mess of unupgraded slows and debuffs and single target damage. Like, it's not a problem. But then having something nice upgraded in the background to clean up after it seems like a good idea. Iron Maiden tier 2, EMP wall on that, on our railgun. Titan, nicely done, guys. We'll upgrade our infernal beam to tier 2 and just move on for our econ. I really like that slow clumping things up before that railgun. That seems like a really effective combination. Unfortunately, if I place this, all of a sudden everything needs to be a lot closer together. But I think I get the 2 main guys in like that. These things I can bring over with no real worry. They don't really matter where they are. But those 3 I kind of want to leave where they are for now, so I know what I'll do. I'm going to upgrade this vortex and shuffle these guys over 1. Then bring this up to the top. There we go. And our focus lasers should easily shred through him once he's in range. Oh, maybe not. Berserker got quite some meat on his bones. Iron Maiden tier 2. I'm not so concerned with the thief right now. And I'll save, actually, to see if anything comes up. My railgun should easily deal with them when they get up to him. Yeah. Wave 14, no point in going for the extractor again. More vortex, more slow, more trick room. Throw down a sniper rifle. And grab another ballista, because we're 1 turn off the end. The extra point of energy I'd get by saving isn't really going to make a huge amount of difference from where I'm sitting. That big slow hug sandwich really makes a difference in that initial intercom. Get the next infernal beam down and let it go. So, get a bit of credits. Nothing here really interests me. The enchantment ability is neat, but I'm not casting too many spells, so I'm not really involved with it right now. Deal 5% max health damage to all enemies every time an enemy dies. Hardened Ruby. That could be amazing. 5% damage to all enemies every time any enemy dies. And then 50% chance of gaining 1 crystal each time a tower makes a crit. That's kind of like the thief, but in its own pocket. Interesting. And now I can zigzag these 3 events. I'm going to spend 60 to get a random trinket, Golden Guardian. If you receive lethal damage, prevent it and lose 50 crystals. I don't have 50 crystals anymore. Oh no. I have great chaos energy. This really calls to me. Yeah, you know what, we're just gonna shuffle. I'm gonna have to read through those real quick. And it's duplicating a card. That was a mistake, just to be clear. I'm certain that will not turn out in my favor. But fun and chaos. I'm gonna duplicate the... I don't really want to duplicate anything, but I don't want to waste a relic that I just got. So I will elect to duplicate the thief, actually. even though we're towards the end, because it gives me that extra crystals, that technically can't... Actually, I don't have that anymore. Oh, no, I don't have the thing that'll defend me, but I have the thing for the crystals because of the heap itself. Duplicate a card in your deck, that's what I just did. If you're not taking damage, you get this combat, recharge 1 spell mana each turn, so spell mana. Increase fire rate of my towers, great. Prevent my cards from discarding, not really useful. Mysterious card, cloth, increase the number of cards and trinkets available in the upcoming shops. There is one upcoming shop, I guess. Towers gain range and fire rate, so my towers are shooting a fair bit faster. Rest sites will offer greater rewards, so I should make a point of hitting that rest site then instead of the shop. Reduces the cost of cards by half. After getting the first level 3 tower each combat, draw 1 March card. Towers gain 20 magic pen. Effects that spawn towers spawn an additional tower. Great. I have no effects that spawn towers. Combats against elites and bosses have 1 less modifier. That's helpful for the final boss and the 1 more elite, I suppose. At the start of each combat, summon a random tower. That could be nice. We'll grab this event. We have a shop upcoming. I'll actually take that dose. Oh, I'm taking that. Oh, we can definitely do all 3. Cool. Doesn't matter what order either. Almost. So now we've got these basic cards sitting in the deck that are kind of going to be like chaff in the way. We have a Disruptor, reduces enemy resistances with each shot, and then a Beam Cannon. I'll drop the Iron Maiden for the tick, but I'm actually going to want to I'm going to want to be very careful about my economy. Yeah, because I'm earning 1 mana per turn right now, because the Beam Cannon that spawned is eating all of my mana. I've lost now, I think, but in the name of chaotic fun and the random deck, I think it's okay. You can't not take the shuffle all your relics thing when you're running a random deck. It's just not in the spirit of randomness and fun, right? Hopefully the Scrap Recycler can... No, the Scrap Recycler is not going to be the one to take out the Titan, tragically. I want to kind of save up for that at this point, because that might be how I saved myself. But the beam rifle here, beam cannon, has kind of really screwed up my chances of doing well. It's a random spawn from at the start of each combat, summon a random tower. And what it does is it spends 1 of my income instead of costing anything to exist. But because I didn't place it, I can't synergize with it, so it's literally just eating my economy. I need that sniper if I want to kill anything tough. I'm definitely going to want to buy extra. Oh, and I straight up don't have the ability to see the invisible guys anymore. So my Iron Maiden is very important because it will pulse and make the invisible guys visible the second they take any damage from it. Making it slightly more tolerable. Luckily, a good amount of my damage does come from just my deck. So with better luck and not getting a beam cannon out of this, I should still be able to finish this, but I am nowhere near the strength I was, given my economy is in shambles. But a little bit of luck is a little bit of luck. I'll add the basic archer tower so I can blink at least. Nothing there is really interesting. We're 1 health off full, so we're gonna go for the elite first, because there's no point in going to the place that could possibly heal us if we get hurt. There's no point in going to the shop because, well, we couldn't reach it from there, and yeah. Okay, Spike Thrower's a decent that's a cheap unit. I just got cheap units. It is random tower, so I'm not expecting huge game-changing stuff, but no, I didn't get anything good, so I'm allowed to complain a little bit, right? Back-end sniper. EMP wall on the sniper. Thief on other side. Tier 2 thief now to the middle. I'm going to drop the Reaper and hope that I get one of my CC crowd control towers soon to hopefully buff him up. And with the Trick Room, I'm going to place it there, then kind of bump everybody back so that they're affecting their things within the Trick Room. But I'm going to pass to save my economy. Then I'm going to throw a railgun on the top here. And he's going to again be firing for that last enemy. Thief. Scrap. Avid Reader. Go EMP wall. We're going to throw the clump into the middle of the clump. I'm actually going to throw down the second extractor too. It's not going to be huge, but we are still early enough that I'm not really worried about what I have out versus what I don't. And I'm going to let it burn up my economy because I will get to that overload in one turn now with those two towers. We're going to put down our railgun, followed by another Reaper to benefit off of those CC towers. And again, because we can bump straight into overload, I'm not really worried about going below it either. But this turn I will let myself keep my... Ooh. No, I'll upgrade my EMP towers. Pull this back, pull this back. But I'm going to again save and let the economy build up now. We'll throw down the Thief. We'll throw down the Trick Room. And then we'll save. So that's one of them sneak towers. Luckily I've got just enough random bits coming out that something plinked it. We will upgrade to the tier 2 energy tower. That'll be giving us 8 mana per turn. Which effectively means that it no longer matters how much I spend. And I want to just make sure I'm starting to get those nice big upgraded towers for punching through the last few little waves here. Because I know things are going to ramp up slightly, but not hugely. There's our hijacker. Gone. We'll upgrade our trick room. Throw down another thief. Grab another railgun for good measure. And why not throw down a vortex? I love that trick room when it gets ramped up. It just goes and goes and goes. They debuff so much. They don't do, I don't believe they do any damage at all. That double critical chance, that's kind of funny. That would have been funny. That would have been really useful early on with the thief. We'll go shop then rest, just because the enhanced boosts don't necessarily mean anything to me, but they might. We're going to go with slow the enemies down and debuff them a bit. And then peace of mind, I'm going to go in and I'm going to remove my basic archers. Thank goodness. Grab our rest site, a little bit of extra health, or random stat. So we'll go random stat because you're maxed on health. And now we fight the Saboteur, the big bad boss. Holy Executioner is our one of our random spawns. The Spike Tower is like the generic zero cost plink tower, so he's nothing exciting. But Holy Executioner is really good to have at the very end because he can just one-shot certain things when they have below a certain health threshold. And I'm going to spend for Railgun there. EMP wall, save. Yeah, remember to put him to fire at last enemy. We're going to grab our sniper. So now we've got small coverage here, medium coverage here, world coverage here. I think there's almost no overlap. We've got a little gap here of one block where there's, you know, we can put this here. So now they're going to be fired on from the moment they enter to the moment they leave. Assuming they get to the end. This is the final boss. And I'd like to unlock Ascension with Random. That'd be nice. Break all cloaks as they enter. And you know what? It's the final boss. Might as well spend the crystals. Econ for this round. Try to get back over that 4 mark. Hoping to place the extractor this turn if it comes up, but no luck. I'll put that on the sniper so he doesn't get flanked, or doesn't get disabled. Then we'll double down on the Star Recycler. Four crystals left. We may as well spend them on the end. I do get a little bit of bonus XP if I keep them at the end. But because I shuffled my gear, I would rather spend them to make sure I win than worry about getting, I think, 5 extra XP points per crystal at the very end. Probably an extra sniper, because they're good for lots of different purposes. The sheer range the sniper has makes it a hugely versatile, in my opinion. Makes it good for dealing with small targets as they run, makes it good for engaging with big targets as they're entering, chip damage for the entire duration of their path. Just a generally useful, flexible thing. Upgrade the scrap recycler, upgrade the thief, upgrade the sniper tower, grab a second trick room. And now we'll zero our economy and throw down a vortex for the extra CC. The final wave is 25, so trying to save up for this would be a good idea. I'll get Avid Reader out of the way so it's not being bulked into my deck, but I think I want to save for the extractor now unless something comes up that stops that from being a good idea. I just think with all my slows and debuffs here between these two, crowds aren't really a worry. Sniper will help take care of anything big. I will upgrade the trick room, but other than that, I'm going to still save to further upgrade my extractors. I think I'm going to go for that blue extractor, so I can just be placing everything I get for the rest of the round. One thief won't screw off my economy because I won't lose my buff, and I will grab an EMP wall for these guys up front. I do believe that range bonus is applying pretty nicely to the EMP wall because he now fits more than just the people right next to him into the circle. He's about a 5 tile diameter. Second ballista, again, not going to affect my economy because we're not going past that overload amount. As long as I don't go under 4, I'm still profiting to the same amount that I would be otherwise. And now I can buy him. Now with these two together, I should be able to spend a little bit here and get back over to my threshold immediately. Yeah. EMP wall, just to get more of them up. What's my coverage like with you? It's really just these guys that aren't covered. And this guy. Again, scrap recycler. I've made a little bit of cash because of my thief, so I can actually probably fully upgrade my scrap recycler, which is nice when the time comes. Assuming I've got the time. We've only got 7 waves left, so we're gonna clear through this nice and quickly. Ooh, it doesn't save priority when upgrading. Good thing to keep in mind. I'll bring these two back to the very front. We'll go like that. So the thieves have time to pelt at anybody who comes through, and the spike thrower just kind of shoots at who's in the back. Get that upgraded. So now we gain 8 per turn, so now I could pretty well just place everything I get. 5 per turn, pardon me, not 8. Go to the box. However, it is a massive amount of mana for me to use. I've got 4 waves left, 12 life. I'm feeling pretty good about this, even despite the shuffle. Like, it's still a whole bunch of relics. As long as nothing up there distinctly was penalizing me, I wasn't really concerned. but it's still best to make better choices than to hit the shuffle every relic button. Our strategy's still looking pretty solid. The nice slow field with a whole bunch of people in the way to eat all the problems. Get that tier 2, yeah. Get another sniper down. We almost had the stuff for the other extractor, but I'd rather spend the economy that I'm building on a building now. I don't have any of those infernal lasers down yet. I might find it worthwhile to invest in those when they pop up now, because I'm guessing the final boss might benefit from single target pain. I think there is a way to look at what the boss would be, too. I don't tend to look at them in games like this. I don't know, I just don't like to know what the bosses are in games often. Let's get that T3 Thief, though. Yeah. There, we finally got a tier 3 tower. It's the Thief. At the very, very front. Ready to throw hands. We'll get a 5th Iron Maiden down. And here is our big Chungus. Saboteur. Every 5 seconds, disable 2 random towers for 5 seconds. With enough slow... He's big enough that he's actually eating quite a few of the Vortex pellets, even ones that would probably pass him if he was somebody else. And with the 2 Trick Rooms sending him back, I will be shocked if he achieves anything. Like, yeah, he might be disabling a couple of my towers. He's trying to disable my towers, but I'm so covered with my EMP auras that it didn't really matter. And it's offering me a victory lap. I'm going to choose no. I've finished. I've got my unlocked. I've unlocked the Ascension with my random now. If we go here, I can play that on the higher difficulty. But thank you for joining me. This has been Gemini Chimera. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, and ring the bell, all that good stuff. It's been wonderful recording for you, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.